It was a cold night. The wind howled across the dry, rocky land. Jack sat alone inside his small metal home. He lived far from the main city, in a quiet, forgotten place on the edge of the Earth colony. He liked silence. He liked peace. He had no family, no friends. Just an old heater, a half-working radio, and a simple bed. Suddenly, someone knocked on his door. Knock. Jack froze. Nobody ever came here. Not at night. Not in this cold. He picked up his old laser tool, just in case, and walked slowly to the door. Knock. Knock. Again. Jack opened the door, just a little. What he saw made him step back in shock. There stood a woman, not human. She was tall, thin, with light purple skin and glowing eyes. Her face looked soft and beautiful, but tired. She held a small child in her arms. The child was wrapped in dirty cloth and shivered from the cold. The woman looked up at Jack. Her lips trembled as she spoke. "If I warm your bed, will you let us stay?" Jack was silent. He didn't understand. Was this a trick? Was it some kind of alien game? But then, he saw the child's eyes, big, wet, afraid. Jack opened the door wider. "Come in," he said quietly. The woman and her child entered slowly. Cold air rushed in with them. Jack quickly shut the door behind. "Sit by the heater," Jack said. "You look half frozen." She walked to the small heater and sat down. The child curled into her chest. The heat made their skin glow faintly. Jack watched them closely. "Who are you?" "My name is Sira," the woman said. Her voice was soft. "This is my son, Lino." Jack nodded. "Where are you from?" She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Far, very far. Our planet is gone. Burned. We escaped. But no one wants us. Everyone says we are dangerous." Jack sat down, still holding the tool in his hand. "Are you dangerous?" Sira looked up. Her eyes were full of sadness. "Only if someone tries to hurt my child." The room went quiet. Jack poured some hot water into a cup and gave it to her. She took it carefully, as if she had never been given anything before. The child Lino opened his eyes. They were bright silver. He looked at Jack and smiled. Jack looked away. He wasn't used to smiling faces. "Why did you say?" "If I warm your bed?" Jack asked. Sira looked down, ashamed. "I heard humans sometimes let aliens stay if they give something back. I have no money, no food. Only myself." Jack felt a mix of anger and sadness. "I don't want anything from you," he said. "You and the boy can stay for the night." "That's it," Sira nodded. "Thank you, kind man." Jack walked to the other corner of the room and laid down a blanket. "You can sleep on the bed. I'll take the floor." Sira tried to protest, but he raised his hand. "No, rest. You need it more." The night passed slowly. Jack could not sleep. He kept looking at the woman and her child. They looked peaceful, safe, but something inside him said this was not the end. This was only the beginning. At 3 a.m., Jack heard a soft sound, like whispering. He sat up. Sira was asleep, but the child was floating. Yes, his small body was slowly rising into the air, glowing like a soft light. His hands moved in the air like he was drawing symbols. Jack's eyes went wide. What the hell? Then, suddenly, the child dropped back onto the bed and closed his eyes. Jack didn't know what to say. Who were they? What were they running from? And why did he feel like something big was coming? The heater made a small click. The night continued. And in that small metal room, 3 lives had just changed forever. Asterisk. The lights went out. The heater stopped with a sudden click. Darkness filled the room like heavy smoke. Jack opened his eyes. Something was wrong. He had lived alone for years, and his instincts were sharp. He grabbed his flashlight and turned it on, but it didn't work. He sat up slowly and listened. Breathing. Not his, not Sira's. Another breath. Low, heavy. Not human. Someone else was in the house. Sira. Jack whispered, "Wake up," but she was already awake. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. She was holding Lino tightly, her body tense. "You feel it too," Jack said. She nodded. Then a voice came. From the shadows, "You should not have helped them, human." Jack jumped to his feet. "Who's there?" the voice laughed. "She belongs to us. The child is not safe with you." Sira stood. Her voice was full of fear. "No, no, please. Don't take him." Suddenly, Jack saw movement in the dark. A figure stepped forward. Tall, covered in dark armor, its face hidden. Not a man, not fully alien. Something in between. "Leave now," Jack said. "Or you'll what?" The figure mocked. "Fix a pipe? You're just a junkman." Jack grabbed his laser tool and pointed it at the intruder. This junkman rebuilt an engine with his hands. "You want to see what I can do to your face?" The intruder stepped back. Then he looked at Sira. "You cannot run forever, princess." He hissed. "Your blood glows in the dark." Then just like that, he vanished into smoke. Jack rushed to the door. Nothing. Just silence and wind outside. He turned to Sira. "Princess?" She looked away. "I didn't want to tell you. I thought if I hid, if I became nothing, they would stop looking." Jack sat down confused. "What are you running from, Sira?" She took a deep breath. Her voice shook. "I was born into a royal line. My people, we ruled a planet long ago. But when war came, our family was hunted. Our cities fell. I escaped with Lino. My husband was killed." Jack didn't know what to say. He looked at the child, still asleep, still innocent. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because humans don't help queens," she said. "But sometimes they help poor alien moms." There was silence. Jack stood and walked to his small table. He poured 2 cups of water, handed one to her. "Then let's make a deal," he said. "No more lies. No more hiding things from me." Sira took the cup. "And what do you want in return?" "Not your bed," Jack said. "I want to keep the boy safe. And I need to know what I'm protecting him from." Sira stared at him. Slowly she nodded. "A deal then." They shook hands in the dark. "Human and alien." Then Jack added, "And from now on, you sleep on the bed. I take the floor." Sira smiled weakly. "You are strange, Jack." Jack smirked. "You have no idea." Suddenly Lino began to glow again. Soft light filled the room, but this time, it was different. Symbols appeared on the walls, floating in the air. Alien language Jack had never seen. Sir gasped. "He's doing it again." Jack stepped closer. "What is it?" "It's a memory signal," she said. "He's calling someone." Jack's heart skipped a beat. "Who?" "I don't know," Sira whispered. "But they might already be on their way." Outside, in the cold wind, a silver drone hovered high in the sky, watching, recording, sending a signal back to deep space. Jack was dreaming of fire. He stood in a field of ash. Buildings burned in the distance. Screams echoed through smoke. And in the middle of it all, a small glowing child stood alone. "Help me," the child whispered. Jack woke up gasping for air. His hands were shaking. His body was cold with sweat. He looked over at the bed. Lino was sitting up, eyes wide open, glowing softly in the dark. He was staring at Jack. Not blinking, not moving. Jack whispered, "Lino?" The child tilted his head and spoke in a voice that wasn't his. "The war has not ended, it only sleeps." Jack froze. Then Lino collapsed back onto the bed, breathing normally again. Just a little boy once more. Jack ran to him. "Sira! Something's wrong with the kid." Sira jumped up, holding her son close. "It's starting." "What's starting?" She looked terrified. "He's not like other children, Jack, not even from my people. He was born during the fall of my world, during a time of chaos. That night, something came into me. I don't know what it was, but I know my son was touched by it. Jack sat down slowly. You mean, he's not just an alien? No, Sira said. He's something more. He remembers things. Things from the past, or maybe the future. Jack looked at the child. He said something. The war has not ended. What does that mean? I don't know, she said, voice cracking. But I think the war is coming here. Later that morning, Jack tried to act normal. He cooked simple food, made repairs to his fence. But something felt wrong. People in the nearby village had started noticing strange lights at night. And now, they were asking questions. When Jack went to trade scrap at the outpost, one of the guards pulled him aside. You got company, Jack? The man asked. Jack played dumb. Nope, just me and my tools. The guard frowned. Funny, my drone picked up 3 heat signals from your shack. One of them ... didn't look human. Jack's heart skipped a beat. He forced a laugh. Probably a bird. The guard didn't smile. Be careful, Jack. You don't want trouble with Central Command. When Jack returned home, he locked every door. They're watching us, he told Sira. They'll come soon. Sira held Lino close. We'll run. No, Jack said. You can't keep running. Not with him. He knelt down in front of the boy. Lino, listen to me. Do you understand me? The boy nodded slowly. Can you hide your light? Lino looked confused. Then he closed his eyes, slowly. The glow faded. Jack sighed. Good. That gives us time. That night, Lino spoke again in his sleep, but this time, in perfect English. They're already here, he said. They wear human faces. Jack stood frozen. What did he just say? Sira's face turned pale. They have infiltrators. Infiltrators. They look like humans. But they're not. Jack grabbed his laser cutter. Then we have a problem. Just before sunrise, a woman knocked on Jack's door. She wore a bright red uniform. Government badge on her chest. Good morning, sir, she said with a polite smile. I'm Agent Keller. We're running a quick check in this area. Any unusual visitors? Jack kept his face blank. No visitors, just me. She glanced past him into the house. May I come in? Jack blocked the door. House is a mess. You don't want to see it. Agent Keller smiled again, but her eyes were wrong. Too shiny. Too cold. Suddenly, Lino cried from inside. Keller's eyes snapped. Toward the sound, Jack raised his tool. Step back. She didn't move. Jack's voice became sharper. I said step. Before he could finish, her skin rippled. Her human face shifted, just for a second, revealing something dark underneath. A mask. A lie. Then she smiled again. We'll be back, Jack. She turned and walked away, disappearing into the dusty air. Jack locked the door. His hands were shaking again. She wasn't human, he whispered. Sira nodded. The war is closer than we thought. Jack looked at Lino. The child was drawing something on the floor. A symbol. Jack didn't understand it, but deep inside, he felt its meaning. It was a warning. Asterisk. It started with a sound. A strange humming, soft, deep and painful. Sira dropped the metal cup in her hands. It hit the floor and rolled away. Jack turned from the window. Sira? But she didn't hear him. Her eyes were wide, glowing bright. Her body shook like something inside her was waking up. Then she screamed. Not like a person, but like something ancient, broken, and buried was being pulled from her soul. Jack ran forward and grabbed her shoulders. Sira, talk to me. But Sira collapsed, eyes blank. Her lips moved, whispering something over and over in her alien tongue. Lino watched from the corner, silent. Then his tiny voice said, Mommy remembers the fire. That night, Jack sat beside Sira on the floor. She finally opened her eyes, tears rolling down her face. I didn't want you to see that. she whispered. What was it? Jack asked gently. My memory, she said. The part I tried to forget. Jack stayed quiet. Let her speak. My real name was Sira Lan Veltorin, daughter of the High Voice. I was born in the royal core of the planet Velari. Our people ruled with peace until they came. Who? Jack asked. The Hollow Ones, she said. They wear the bodies of the dead. They feed on energy, on memory. They can't create, only steal. Jack listened, heart heavy. One by one, they took our cities. They melted our towers, erased our books, took our children. My husband tried to fight. They burned him alive in front of me. I ran. I ran and hid in the old ruins, where the sky never shines. She held Lino close. I was pregnant. I thought I would die there, but then something found me. What do you mean? Jack asked. A light. It didn't speak. It just entered me, protected my child, changed him. Jack remembered the dreams, the symbols, the voice coming from Lino's mouth. He's not just your son, is he? Jack said. Sira looked at him with pain in her eyes. No, she whispered. He's more. He's memory, power, and something else we don't understand. That's why they want him. Outside, the wind picked up. Jack looked through a broken panel in the wall. In the distance, he saw lights. Moving, quiet, organized. Someone's coming, he said. Sira stood. We can't run again. I know, Jack said, but we also can't fight them alone. He turned to her. There's someone I know. A signal tech named Marla. She's ex-military. If anyone can help us, it's her. Sira placed her hand on his chest. Why are you doing this, Jack? We're not your people. We're not even from your stars. Jack looked at her. You knocked on my door. That night, you asked if you could warm my bed. But you didn't just ask for heat. You were asking if there was any human left in this world who still cared. He took her hand gently. I do. Jack left on foot before sunrise. Hours passed. The desert was rough, and the wind sharp. At the edge of the old cum tower, he found Marla, strong, scarred, tough as stone. You look like hell, she said. You should see the inside of my house, Jack replied. He told her everything. About Sira, the child, the Hollow Ones, the strange agents. Marla didn't laugh. She didn't mock him. She just said, they're already here. I've seen signs for months. Strange power surges. Ships that don't match any known signature. Can you help us? Jack asked. Marla sighed. Help you, Jack? I think that child might be the only thing keeping Earth from turning into another Velari. Back at Jack's home, Sira lit a small symbol on her skin. It glowed gold. Lino watched with quiet eyes. What's that, Mommy? It's the old mark of my people, she said. It means truth. Lino touched it with his little hand. The symbol jumped to him, glowing brighter. And then, in a voice full of warning, Lino whispered, they're at the gate. Jack arrived just minutes later. His house was burning. Smoke rose into the red morning sky. Jack stood alone in front of his burning house, his fists shaking, his eyes full of fire. Everything he owned destroyed, but not everything was lost, because from the smoke, Sira stepped out, coughing, holding Lino tight in her arms. Her skin was burned. Her eyes were full of tears, but she was alive. So was the child, and that was all Jack needed to see. He walked forward, slowly, until he reached them. Sira collapsed into his chest. They found us. Jack didn't say a word. He just wrapped his arms around her. He looked into the fire, and then into the sky. A ship hovered far above, sleek, silent, watching. He raised his voice. You want them? The wind howled. Come and take them. They moved into the old Junyard bunker near Jack's land, a place even the law forgot. Jack and Marla worked day and night. They rebuilt the walls, powered up the shields, buried energy traps, built decoys. Marla called it suicide. Jack called it home. They'll send more, she said. Worse than the last ones. I know, Jack said. That's why I'm staying. You don't even know what Lino really is, Jack. Jack glanced at the boy. Lino was helping Sierra carry scraps. He laughed like any child. Played with broken robots. Drew pictures of stars on the walls. He's not a monster, Jack said. He's just a kid. With a very big secret. That night, the Hollow One sent a message. It appeared in the sky, like a beam of burning letters across the clouds. Surrender the child by dawn, or Earth will bleed. Marla read it and cursed. What now? Jack didn't flinch. We fight. You. Mean. You fight. He nodded. Someone has to say no. The next morning they came. Not ships. Not guns. But people. Humans. Dozens of them. Some were neighbors. Some were strangers. But all had heard the message in the sky. All had heard the story of the human who took in an alien mother and her child. They didn't bring weapons. They brought tools. Food, blankets, solar panels. Man stepped forward and shook Jack's hand. You stood up for them, he said. Now we stand with you. Jack looked around, stunned. Sierra stood beside him. Her voice broke with emotion. Why? Why would they help me? Jack smiled gently. Because sometimes one human saying no makes others brave enough to say it too. Then the sky turned black. The Hollow Ones had arrived. The ground trembled. Their ship landed. Like a god falling from heaven. Tall figures emerged. Masked, armored, voices like steel and fire. We will take the boy. Jack stepped forward. No, he said. The ground cracked beneath their feet. Energy flared. Sierra stood beside Jack. Marla stood behind him. Then, from behind the crowd, Lino walked forward. Alone. Small. Brave. I'm not afraid of you, he said. The Hollow Ones laughed. You are nothing. Lino raised his hand. The symbol from his mother's arm lit up, but now it shined brighter, golden, burning like a star. You came to steal power, the boy said calmly. But I am not power. I am memory. I am light. I am everything you lost. The Hollow Ones screamed. Some fell to their knees, others burned. The sky lit up. And Earth did not bleed that day, because one man had said no. The silence before the storm was worse than war itself. Birds stopped flying. The wind held its breath. Even machines went still, as if the land itself knew what was coming. Jack stood at the edge of the bunker, eyes fixed on the horizon. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a hero. He was just a man who opened his door one cold night. And now the sky was breaking open. Because of it. Above, a massive shadow moved through the clouds, wide as a city, quiet as death. The Hollow Ones had returned, but this time, they didn't come to ask. They came to take. Inside the bunker, Sierra placed a glowing crystal into Lino's hands. Her fingers trembled. If anything happens, she whispered, run. Don't look back. Lino shook his head. No, I want to stay with Jack, with you. Sierra kissed his forehead. You are more than us now. You must live, even if we fall. Jack entered, holding a battered blaster and a backpack full of charges. They'll be here in minutes. Marla checked the shields. That ship up there. It's not here to talk. They never were, Jack replied. Sierra looked at him. You don't have to die for us. Jack looked at her calm. I'm not dying for you. I'm living for something that finally matters. The first wave hit the shields like thunder. Blue. Sparks exploded across the walls. Metal screamed. The ground shook. Creatures in black armor marched from the smoke, tall, faceless, glowing red under their skin. The Hollow Ones had taken human form, but their eyes gave them away. They did not blink. They did not breathe. They came with silence and fire. Jack ran to the outer gate, shouting orders. Don't fire until I say. The villagers, farmers, traders, mechanics took position. They had no real weapons, only tools. But they stood. Tall. When the creatures got closer, Jack gave the signal, a single word. Now. A storm of sparks and light filled the air. Homemade bombs, scrap lasers, burning oil lines, they hit with chaos. Dozens of hollow ones fell, but more kept coming. Inside the bunker, Sierra and Marla activated the fail-safe core, a last resort energy burst that could melt the desert. If they get through, Marla said, use this. Sierra's eyes locked on hers. I'll protect him, even if I must burn the stars. On the front line, Jack was hit. A black spear struck his side, burning through his jacket. He dropped to one knee, gasping. A hollow one raised a blade over his head, but before it could strike, Lino appeared. The boy raised one hand, and a wall of pure light blasted from his body. The hollow one flew backward like dust in the wind. Everyone stopped, even the invaders. The boy floated off the ground, glowing like a star reborn. His voice echoed with power. I remember who I am now. The hollow ones screamed. Some dropped to the ground, others turned to flee, but it was too late. From above, the massive ship cracked open. A beam of white gold light shot down to Lino. It wrapped around him, spinning faster and faster, until boom. The sky exploded in silence. A wave of light raced across the land. Every hollow one turned to ash. Every machine powered off. Every soul stood still. And when the light faded, Lino stood there. Alive. Breathing. But changed. Jack crawled toward him, wounded but smiling. You okay, kid? Lino knelt beside him. You didn't run. Neither did you. Sierra rushed in, tears streaming. You remembered, she said. Lino nodded. I remembered why I chose to be born. To end it. Jack looked up at the sky. It was quiet. Again. Clear. Safe. But the war wasn't over yet. Because far, far above, in deep space, something darker was now watching, something that feared the light. It began with a seed, a small green sprout pushing through the cracked desert floor. Jack stared at it, amazed. There had been no rain, no water, nothing but war, yet the plant grew anyway. Lino stood beside him, holding a cup of warm liquid. It means the ground is healing. Jack raised an eyebrow. You do this too? The boy smiled. No, you did. You stayed. Jack looked down at his hands, rough, scarred, bandaged. A few months ago, he was just a man fixing junk for trade. Now he was the one who said no to monsters. And somehow, that made the world say yes. Sierra helped rebuild the village. The people called her Star Mother. She taught them how to grow food with light, how to listen to the ground, and how to protect each other without guns. She no longer hid who she was. She wore her glowing marks with pride. Jack teased her once, saying, If you're royalty, where's your crown? She simply pointed to Lino. There. A human child born of stars, carrying memory, power, and a smile that made even the hardest soldier put down their rifle. Lino was no longer just a survivor. He was a symbol. Earth had once feared aliens. Now, humans and refugees worked together, built together, laughed together. A new town rose from the ashes, Unity Point, and in the center of it all was Jack's old bunker. Now a home. One night, a group of humans knocked on Jack's new door. They came with small packs. Women, children, tired men, their eyes full of fear, their hands empty. The leader spoke softly. We heard what you did. We have nowhere else to go. Can we stay? Jack opened the door without a word. Behind him, Sierra appeared, smiling. Lino peeked around the corner, waving. And Jack finally replied with a full heart. If you warm our fire, you can stay forever, but far above the stars. A cold eye opened in space. The hollow ones were gone. But their masters had awakened. One of them stared at a screen showing Lino's image. He remembers too much. The voice growled, "A medal." Claude tapped the glass. And now he is not alone. Back on Earth months later, Jack sat outside under a bright sky, drinking old coffee. Lino was chasing kids around a light tree. Sierra sat beside Jack, her hand resting on his. "You never asked for us," she said softly. Jack looked at her. "Doesn't matter. But why? Why open your door that night?" He thought for a long time. Then he answered, "Because the world was cold. And I was tired of sleeping in an empty bed." Sierra leaned her head on his shoulder. "You let us stay," Jack nodded. "Now we stay. With you."